So I messaged this last night. Or was it last night? I recommend Vampire Survivors.
Yeah.
All right.
That game is $3. So
Yeah, I was gifted it, but I haven't had a chance to play it yet.
Okay, so it's a time waster. All right.
It's a twin stick shooter, kind of. Only one stick.
Yeah. I mean, you only play with one hand. All right. So, yeah.
Coded.
If you're
Coded, you listening?
Yeah. You can what it is that you just run around and you survive 30 minutes in a map against all of these like undead / vampire things, and you play as different characters. You get certain level ups for like weapons or whatever, and you just gotta survive 30 minutes. I bought this the other night. And I think I've put like almost 10 hours into this game already. And you'd think that it's like a little. I put 9.2 hours into this game. Most of that was one night, like literally right after I bought it. This game is oddly addicting, and it's one of those games.
This is astounding. We have to strap you down to play most games. What's happening here?
It's just because I don't have to think. Like the only thing I'm thinking about while playing this or whatever is moving my hands in a motion where my characters are like running around in a small circle, killing everything that's like coming near me. All right, and being like, my next level up. If this upgrade happens, or if this weapon drops on my level up, I need to get this weapon so I can, or I need to get this like item so I can evolve my weapon into something when it hits like level 8 or something like that. And then sometimes like luck doesn't happen and you get fucked over really easily, and it's very sad. No, I mean, Evan played this like a month ago when it came out, and he was talking all about it. And I didn't actually like watch him play or whatever. But he's talked about it for like forever. And then I was watching Connor the other night, because he just beaten like the last DLC for Jump King, which was plaguing his life for 50 hours straight. And Mouse was like, "Yeah, how about you play Vampire Survivors?" And so he started playing that, and I was like, "Okay." I didn't watch anybody play this game until now, and I was like, "I understand why this game is addicting." Then I looked it up, and it was like only $2, and I was like, or $3, and I was like, I guess. So I bought it, started playing it. I messaged Evan. I was like, "I just bought Vampire Survivors. You want to watch?" And he goes, "Duh." And yeah, so I played it like 7 hours that night, and then I've played like 2 to 3 hours of it in between then and now. It's fun. It's like it's one of those things. Like if you're decent enough at like making sure like you're not getting hit too much or whatever. It's an easy 30 minutes like to pass, while like I mean I put up like a podcast while playing a little bit, where I'm just like I'm not just staring and listening to the podcast. I'm actually like doing something, but like still, and I don't know. It's just a good time waster, and it's cathartic, is what it is. It's very cathartic, very relaxing. But yeah, I recommend it. It's only $3, but like I mean, Leek said she got gifted it, so Leek, download it and play it.
Yep, it's already downloaded. I'm aware it like it's a time waster. I cannot do that. I cannot do. Although it's like I know that I'm very well aware as well. There's a very rewarding jingle after every level. It's it feels so good to listen to it. Just if you're passively watching someone else's stream, it's like, yeah, I feel good for you too.
And then when you when you open up treasure chests that you get from from killing bosses or like mini bosses as well, um, it gives you like the same it gives you the satisfaction that that dings in your head when you're like, I guess, doing loot boxes or whatever, like gambling or whatever, but it's just you opening up a chest that you get for killing something, and it's either an item or a weapon upgrade, or if you're high enough level and everything's upgraded or whatever, you get like a sack of money to unlock like upgrades and other characters, and it's very I mean it's just cathartic. It's got good music. It's very relaxing, and you can just put something on the side and just be like moving WASD. So yeah, I played a good bit of that, but the other game that I played was Stranger of Paradise.
Ha ha ha.
I still have no idea what this game is about, and I've put 40 hours into this game.
Amazing.
I mean, I've got an idea, and it's pretty much kind of what you've expected, Dalit. A little bit, ish, I guess. What can I say? What am I allowed to say when it comes to the story of this game?
I'm not sure if you know this, but this is our podcast. We get to say whatever we want.
I know, but I'm saying, do any of you guys care about any of the story bits being said right now?
How masculine do you feel after playing this game?
Well, I mean, so Leek, do you know what the destroying crystallizing thing you do to a tonberry is?
Yeah. No. What exactly do you mean?
Okay, so there's glory kills in this game. So if you like break it,
okay.
or whatever, you turn them into crystal and you shatter them or whatever.
Right. Okay, I get it now.
So with tonberries, when you break them or whatever, you walk up to them and you put your hand on their head, like you're head patting them, all right? And then you destroy them. You turn them into crystal and destroy them.
Oh shit!
She always knew she couldn't trust them.
It's so the glory kills in this game are probably one of the best things in this game, because it's just like you're just attacking or whatever, and you break them and you see the circle button pop up and you hit it and you're just like, Jack just like grabs like if you're fighting a bat or whatever, he just like grabs a bat by the head, crystallizes it, and just fucking like, Andy Samberg throws it on the ground.
Good reference, I guess.
Griffins or whatever, you when you break them, you grab their wings, crystallize them, and just like and slam them back and forth. It's just so good. Fucking Sahagin or whatever, you firemen carry them and break their back over your head.
Torture.
Oh god.
It's so good. Like, actually, one of the most satisfying ones is Morbles or whatever. You step on one of their bottom tentacles or whatever, take it and then shove it in their mouth, crystallize them, and then explode them.
Fucking hell.
It's very, very, it's very good looking.
What Unc was saying is he likes the violence.
Always.
He's a very angry protagonist.
Yeah, he is a very angry protagonist. At this point in time in the game, I've beaten all 4 fiends. Twice actually. I've beaten them twice because at a certain story you beat, it unlocks like a harder version of them.
Mm-hmm.
And I went back and I killed them the second time around. So this is an isekai ish. I don't know. I still don't know. It is. So the characters that you play as, they're not. I don't know if they're not from this world, except for Neon. Neon's actually from Cornelia.
To be fair, in the original they weren't from the city either. They
Yeah.
were wanderers. So if you're not sure if it's an isekai, it may well be that it's not, despite Jack having a modern telephone. No one questions it, so it must be normal enough.
So they do the thing that like Final Fantasy does in a lot of their games, where there is actually an ancient civilization that was super technological, and they were called Lufenians.
Yeah, they were in one as well. They had Warmac.
Yeah. They're a bit more prevalent in this game.
So I have heard.
It seems like the Lufenians use Jack and his companions to loop through time a bunch of times to balance out light and darkness, is what I'm getting at.
Hey, can you tell this is written by the Kingdom Hearts crew? Because this is totally what everyone was expecting from Aqua & Co.
Yeah. It's just so weird because, okay, so to do this, apparently there's a program. It's called the Strangers Program. All right. They're either like brought in from an outside world, from the Lufenians, and like sent through, like the same points through time to balance out the light and darkness in the world, so it doesn't sway more towards darkness with which and with which chaos like resides, or it doesn't go more towards light, which I mean I don't know what happens like towards the light, but to do that they have to give up their memories at points in time, so they don't remember like who they really are and what they're like, and like where they really come from, because to keep doing this they have to have the resolve to keep doing this, and if they don't remember everything that's happened throughout this entire time, then they only have like the resolve to kill chaos, or to to go through. That's why Jack in the beginning gives I don't understand it. I don't understand it. It's more like a thirst, a hunger to kill chaos. It's because
it is his prime directive.
Yeah, he's like programmed that way because he doesn't have he's not actually himself. I got to a scene where it was like he was like slightly remembering some things of, I guess, one of the times, like or maybe like the first time he was going through, and when he like remembered, he was like, I don't understand some of these memories or whatever. I don't exactly know like who I am or whatever. And then Ash comes out and says, we're strangers. We're strangers to this world, and we're strangers to ourselves. Because and Jed says, like, we don't have our memories because it's easier for us to not have the memories and keep continuing on and fighting chaos. So I think
I'm not getting a very strong opinion of the story of this.
So
like you're definitely being fine the way you're telling it. I'm very much hearing.
No.
What I'm hearing as this story,
it's not told very well. It's not told very
well. Let me tell you, from the demo, I understood that.
Yeah,
but yeah, I'm just hearing that this story's not going to get very strong.
Oh, it does the same thing that Kingdom Hearts does too, where there's and some reports in the game. So
they just can't help themselves with shit like this. Just tell the story. Just tell us. Just show us.
From what I've heard from the people that have played the game, or that have actually beaten the game, they actually like the story. And I'm not hearing that. I'm like, where I'm at in the story or whatever. It's not a point where I'm just like, oh my god, this is the fucking story or whatever. It's just I don't fully understand it, and I'm assuming it's probably going to get that point when I actually beat the game. But
I recognize if you go in with the right mindset if you go in with the understanding that this isn't going to be
Oh yeah. Yeah.
terrific, maybe this is better. But when I see people say outright that this story is fine, I worry because
Yeah.
I
I
don't
mean,
think they're right. I don't think they can be right. I think the premise can be fine. From what I have seen, that story is told horrifically.
oh, I don't think you should go into this game like
Well, with
wanting a
any
story.
expectations, apparently,
I don't think you should go into.
except for the combat. The combat was amazing.
Yeah, no, the you go into the game wanting to just actually play it, and they kind of the game actually makes it feel like they just want you to play the game or whatever, because there's not many big story beats or whatever. There's not like any long cutscenes or whatever. It's small cutscenes. You play the game, and that's what they want you to do. They want you to play the game. I think what the story is going to end up being or whatever, this is my guess or whatever, is that I guess originally when Garland became Chaos or whatever, when the first cycle of that actually happened, I guess the Luthinians devised a plan to counteract that, because Garland has to keep going back in time to become Chaos, and he has to keep doing that the whole time loop or whatever for it. I think the Luthinians devised a plan to keep that in check, and that's the reason why there's a stranger program. It just so happens, I think, that Jack, either that or the Luthinians made this, and that ended up being the reason Chaos even exists in the first place. It's because Jack's supposed to be Garland. But I'm not sure, because when you're introduced to Jack, 10 years before then is or I don't even, 10 years before that is like an event where Garland disappeared or whatever, and you hear that from Sarah. So obviously there's time loop
very
stuff.
surprising, given that Neon says she was Garland for about 10 years.
No. She was Chaos Advent for 10 years. She wasn't Garland for 10 years. Garland actually existed.
What's the difference?
Okay, so the Garland that you fight is not Garland.
Obviously it's not. It's Neon. Is Neon wearing his skin like a goddamn costume? Because magic.
She it's not like she was Garland in the city. Garland existed before Neon became Garland.
I understand this, but for 10 years he's been missing, and 10 years ago she assumed this position of Advent Chaos.
Yeah, so like I'm not sure.
Yeah, I can tell.
It's weird. Like I don't care too much about like getting like about. Obviously, I don't really care too much about the story. I like playing the game. But it's definitely it's definitely written by the Kingdom Hearts people. So there's that. Gameplay wise, really good. So this had the same dev cycle as I think Neo 2 did. It's just the reason why Neo 2 feels so much better is because they had to create more assets for. They had to create assets for scratch for this game. They made a Stranger of Paradise 2, which obviously I don't think they will. If they made like a game very similar to this one, I think that one would actually feel a hell of a lot better. Because from Neo 1 to Neo 2, they used a lot of the stuff they used from Neo 1 in Neo 2, and just made it better. So this one had the same dev cycle as Neo 2, but they had to create a bunch of stuff. So while the gameplay is really good, there's definitely some lacking bits in this gameplay. I think I don't think it's as snappy as Neo 2. I've definitely had some issues with um the responsiveness of like sometimes dodging or sometimes using this like the soul shield. Um Obviously things don't things in Neo 2 or like Neo in general, they staggered on hit more often than not. While things in this game don't really do that, so you have to like really you have to really find like the correct timing to actually
Going off
attack.
the demo, I'm not even sure like the hit animation is even a thing. Or the getting hit animation is a thing, because they just sort of, if they're gonna
It
do an
depends.
attack, they
It
have
depends on the.
armor from beginning to end.
Depends on what you're using. If you use abilities, it does the hit animation of like them getting hit. But if the normal attacks or whatever, no, there's barely any.
Yeah, that's weird to me.
But I've found a pretty broken combo. That allows me to pretty much destroy bosses pretty quickly. There's an ability called Seal of Blood, which greatly increases the damage of your next ability used. And I pair that up with Tomahawk, which you get from leveling Dark Knight. And I use that on. I could technically use it on. Actually, you know what? I'm just thinking about that now. So I use it on Dark Knight or whatever, because the Dark Knight job gives you like a big bonus in damage. But I could technically use. Actually, I don't know, may not be able to, depending on if Breaker can actually use an axe. If so I use it on Dark Knight, which gives you an increase in damage in general. And then so you use that ability, and then you use the thing that would Seal of Blood, and then you charge up like to level 3 Tomahawk. And it hits the enemy multiple times because it goes through them and then it comes back through them. If you break the enemy with it, or if you drop their health to 0 or whatever, it immediately does a soul burst on them, so you get MP back from it. And it does a lot of damage. It one shots Tonberries.
Oh, that's pretty useful, actually.
I don't know if it one shots Master Tom. Well, I don't know at the moment if I can one shot Master Tonberries. By the way, Master Tonberries, those things are fucking scary. Not anymore now that I have like a move that like pretty much 2 hits them. But when I didn't, fuck Master Tonberries. Holy shit. They have a lot of HP, and everyone's grudge hurts if you don't time your soul shield good enough. Now I've run into enemies that are even more annoying than Tonberries, and they're called Pisca Demons. And Pisca Demons are fucking annoying because they pretty much cast every single fucking like elemental ability, and then they do Mind Burst on you, and they have an ability you have to dodge, and if you don't dodge, it's like, I think it's called like it's like Mind Eat or something like that, where they grab you with their fucking tentacles and they just fucking suck your soul out.
Okay, so they are. So usually they look like mind flayers. I'm assuming they continue to look like mind flayers.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I hate going up against them because sometimes they'll, like in this last mission that I did, they paired a Pisca Demon up with two random Earth Elementals and like 3 bats or whatever. And in this level, these bats do like 3 different things that like or earlier bats didn't do. So I had to jump in there and quickly use the fucking use that fucking Tomahawk combo on him, because if I let the Pisca Demon like start charging an attack or anything like that, it's pretty much impossible to get a good hit in on him. Yeah, no, fuck Pisca Demons. I don't know how far I am into this game, like storyline wise. But I have beaten all of the fiends, and maybe I have a few more like random story missions left. But I honestly, who knows?
Not I, tell you what.
But I'm enjoying the game. Like I put 40 hours into the game, and most of that was actually me just leveling up my jobs before going on with the story. So that's actually all I played this week is Vampire Survivors and Stranger of Paradise.
Busy. Well, probably not that busy, but still, I'm happy you were enjoying yourself at least.
Yeah. No, I like the game. It's fun. It's honestly worth the $60. I put $60 worth of hours into it, so.
Yes, what are the quality of your hours? No, they sound like they're pretty good. I'm happy. So,
Yeah.
like I said, I'm happy you're enjoying it.
Yeah. But you guys?
I mean, mine's pretty simple. I didn't have time to do shit this week.
You didn't play no Elden Ring?
I mean, I might have logged in once or twice, but I didn't do anything in it. It's been paper to paper to paper this week, so nothing to report, I am afraid.
I have been working too much, so I only just played Yu-Gi-Oh for a bit. That's all I did, and a bit of Pokemon Go. I don't know. I'm just randomly playing random things. Yeah, I was so curious because like I haven't played it since it first came out. I heard there's loads of different things in it now. I was just curious. I actually haven't fucking gone anywhere with Pokemon Go. I've defied the whole point of it. That I have incense. I'm gonna sit here and just play.
Ever since the pandemic, they changed it to where you could just play while you like in your house.
Yeah, they've got like remote raid passes and stuff, so you can do that while you're at home.
Yeah.
So yeah, it is better than than it was. So that's good. But yeah, that's all I've done. I've been working too much.
Goddamn life getting in the way of our video games.
Your damn you life, damn you capitalism making me work.
Yeah, I've really been. I mean, it's mostly just been whenever I had downtime, was watching other people talk about games in some way, shape, or form. I watched the fighting game roundtable, the third one. I missed the second one at some point because I don't remember that happening. And I just kind of played catch up on, the hobby that I didn't get to take part in this week.
No. Well, that's all right. That's all right. I can be the gamer this week, I guess. So,
yeah.
I am the gamer. The gamer. We do have a question from Little. It's more of a joke question, and it ties into something we'll talk about later. But don't you guys wish you could buy real life cars for $40?
Oh, don't talk to me. Don't talk to me, criminal. Don't talk to me. And also yes. Also yes. Hey guys, don't forget to sub to the channel if you're into what you're hearing. While you're down there, remember to like the video as much as we like you. You'll be good now.
But we do got some news this week, because it's actually been a pretty busy week. In the gaming news sphere. First of all, I think what is it? Actually, after we like literally after we recorded last week or whatever, Platinum was like, "Hey guys, tell us what's wrong with our video game, please."
So much is wrong.
And most of it was them asking about the graphics, which is not what's wrong with that video game. I mean, it's one of those things that's wrong with that video game, but it's not the main reason that video game sucks.
I don't know. I
Graphics are
think
one
that's the
thing.
first thing that literally everyone says. That game looks bad. So I think they might actually be onto something.
What's the
It might
first
not be
thing
the
you see?
root.
It's the
That's the
first thing.
point, Aqua. The point is, like, people are having a very bad first impression of the game, which is always going to be visual.
Yeah, but the game's also riddled with a shitty battle pass system. The gameplay is shit. The story is about as existent as Stranger of Paradise is, from what I've been
True, but they
hearing.
have to get people interested in actually playing it before
Yeah.
any of that becomes important.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. The game's been out enough that people know about the other things that are the big problem with that game, and
It's true.
graphics
That
are
is
not going to
fair.
fix that. Graphics are not going to fix. Like, it'd be different if this was still the beta, and people were like, "Oh, this looks like shit," which back in the beta it looked like shit. So, obviously, uh, it's too late, Platinum. Just give up. Just don't even. And honestly, it's probably not their choice because as this next little bullet or whatever, Dalit showed me a tweet of, yeah, man, Square likes to have these high expectations, these unrealistic expectations of games like Neo Twoe and Guardians of the Galaxy, and then
Yeah, that tweet from Pyra at Valkyrie Pyra was so on the money. Seeing both Neo, the World Ends with You, and Guardians of the Galaxy being met with, it didn't meet sales expectations. Only to continue support on a game that currently has less than 100 players is stunning.
yep.
Like, I do we just stop taking them seriously when they say it? Is this a case of like semi favoritism, or is this them just like really not wanting to give up on the live service that could make them money? My money's on the latter, obviously, but oh man, what an excellent take.
Oh, it's only the best take, man. Only the best take. Like, what I don't understand is that, like, everybody knew that this game was going to be bad. Like, the beta for this game, everybody didn't like. And then the demo came out, and nothing changed. Whatever. It was still shit.
Yeah, it's why less than 100 or around 100 people were playing. Not 100,000, not 100 million, just 100.
It's Square just needs to stop. They need to stop trying to do things like a live service way. They have two good live service games: Final Fantasy 11 and Final Fantasy 14.
I
All
don't
right?
see why they absolutely feel like they must need another one. Moreover, like I know a
Infinite
lot of
money.
people are going to but but there are only so many people to take the money from.
You say this or whatever, but
I'm sorry,
gotcha
do you have
games
an
exist.
infinite amount? Well, yes, and the biggest failure to a gotcha game is trying to get more people than they can, and collapsing because they forget to keep up with their current base. Like,
Yeah.
like frankly, Square does actually need to stop trying to turn every game into a live service. They have proven they're bad at it, and whilst I've heard it, you can make the case that this is a platinum mistake. It's not like this isn't just another poor outing for Square in this arena. It's not the first game flying the Square flag that is a always online, um, multi-year, long-term games as a service game that has failed out of the gates.
Yeah.
As it turns out, Square and the companies Square works with do very well at a very particular style of game that does not lend itself to long-term storytelling, with 2 exceptions: Final Fantasy XI and Final Fantasy XIV.
Yep. There are 68 viewers on Twitch watching Once Fall. 68.
Oh, no, streamers, viewers.
Oh no,
Yeah,
these
viewers.
are
Oh.
Not
viewers.
even the streamers.
They're
probably watching a grand total
12.
of
12.
Oh,
12 streamers.
damn. I
12
wasn't far off. I'll say like 10 or so.
Most of them are on one streamer though.
Yeah, that's how that
are on
works.
one. Yeah. It's man, I don't know. And like Neo Toei and fucking Guardians of the Galaxy, they're both actually really good games.
As a matter of fact, they're very good.
This bad. They're like. I understand them having a higher expectation for Guardians of the Galaxy. It's a Marvel IP or ever. They aren't going to expect that to sell a lot.
But even as far as Marvel IPs go, Guardians of the Galaxy is the most niche title. I mean, maybe not now that Shang-Chi is out, but even amongst that bracket, like, they were the niche group. More so than Iron Man, certainly more so than Thor and Captain America. Like, you were asking that name to do a lot of heavy lifting instead of doing what they should do, which is not expect every game to put in COD numbers. Just don't do that.
Yeah.
Expect a reasonable amount of sales and parse out the money that would make you it all back and a profit on that reasonable amount of sales. That's it. If there's no reason to expect it to do fucking gangbusters, well, Guardians maybe you can, but certainly not The World Ends With You. The World Ends With You is not a very...
Oh no, that's super niche.
I don't want to say it's not a popular game, but it is very niche.
Now, only Kingdom Hearts fans are playing Neo Toei.
And not even all of them.
Sure, I don't play The World Ends With You.
I didn't play it. You didn't play it. Someone who I like God, I think everyone I know that's super into it actually gave Neo: The World Ends With You a pass.
Really? What about Matt? Because he liked the original game.
I don't know that he picked it up yet. I know he's expressed interest in it.
I'm more inclined to play Neo: The World's End With You than I am to play The World Ends With You, just because Neo: The World's End With You is a more of a video game.
I'll be honest, that's a big part of my issue with that game.
It's actually a video. It actually looks like it's a video game, while the World's Ends With You is more
a visual
weird
model?
in its game. Yeah. I mean, it's got like it's weird combat. But
yeah, I was taking advantage of the DS's 2 screens.
Yes.
Yeah. But I know Neo World's End With You actually looks like, the gameplay wise, actually looks pretty decent. But I'm also I'm just like really not into that series in general. Like,
same.
It's
I missed it the first time around, so I just never.
Yeah.
The bug never got me.
And mainly because while I am a Kingdom Hearts fan or whatever, I'm not a Tetsuya Nomura stan. So.
I think it's more popular nowadays to hate on him than for him to have a stand. So.
Yeah.
It's not so much hate as well, like, please calm down. Please restrain yourself.
I don't know.
Yeah,
like, listening to a lot of people who are open with their opinions of him, it's gotten kind of violent. Not like
really?
violence on his
no.
person. It's just like his name it seems to just cause people's blood pressure to skyrocket. They get very heated very quickly.
That's because everything his name's on is it's not that it's bad. It's just that it's always weird. All right, he's like, he's to
be fair,
like,
you could say the same thing about Yoko Taro, and he's beloved.
Okay, well, I don't even like Yoko Taro. Well, so.
I'm not talking about any one person. I'm talking about
Yeah.
like
Well, no, okay, but
the overall
here's the
feel
thing.
of.
Most Yoko Taro games are like generally like there's nothing wrong with them.
Oh, let me tell you how wrong you
I
are.
I don't mean like story wise, but I mean like I just mean
I
like
mean
most
gameplay wise. Fucking Dragon Dragoons 1 and 3 are fucking awful.
Oh well, I mean those are old as shit, so I don't expect those to be like.
But funny enough, unlike a lot of things, it's not the gameplay that you're going to for that. You're going there for that batshit crazy story. And whilst
Yeah.
for 3 at least, that wasn't for me. That was for someone else. One was quite good. One was so good it gave birth to a whole new series.
That's for Drakengard, right?
Sorry, I
One.
was saying Dragon Dragoon. Drakengard, yes.
Oh,
Yes,
okay.
yes.
I was like, why? I was like, what the fuck is Dragon Dragoon?
Sorry, Drakengard. It's because when I picked it up, I did grab the Japanese. Or
Oh, okay.
what I picked up was listed under the Japanese version of the game.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. So yeah, that's the thing with the Yoko Taro games. You're literally picking them up for the batshit story or whatever.
And that's a fair. That's just a fair thing.
Nomura, he's like so hit or miss because like some games he makes are like it has a completely sane story, or sane enough at least. Like Kingdom Hearts.
Please name one.
Kingdom Hearts 1 had a sane story.
Did it though? Are we gonna go with sane or do you mean coherent?
Well, sane
It was
enough,
coherent, yeah. It was coherent.
Yeah, it was coherent.
And it was,
Yeah,
you could
coherent
follow
I will
it.
give
You
you.
didn't need extra shit happening.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It wasn't stuff you need to find.
Oh boy.
I mean, you're putting Final Fantasy and Disney characters in the same game. It was sane enough. It worked. All right. But then later on down the line, it just got less and less fucking like the guy just kept smoking more crack. All right.
See, this is what I mean. This is what I mean. For whatever reason, if you stay on the topic of Nomura long enough, you get statements like that.
Yeah. It's because like he'll start off his games will start off like all right. Whatever. I mean, just look at the way fucking Versus 13 went. There was a point in time where Versus 13 was he was asking it to be a fucking musical.
Yeah, so I will say this. My opinion of Nomura isn't the greatest.
Yoko Taro did do that, by the way. He has a musical.
He does have a musical, goodness. My Nomura feelings aren't very high. My idea has been for the longest time that he's an ideas guy. And that
No. He's an ideas guy, and more importantly, a character designer.
Oh, his character designs are all brilliant, of course. But like in terms of his narratives, he's an ideas guy. He has some pretty solid bases, I think. Like Kingdom Hearts, for all the ridiculousness that it has become, is a really novel start. What he needs, which he will not get because he's a veteran of the industry in Japan, is an editor that has the willingness to say, hey, stop that.
Yeah.
Can we tone it back and be a bit more reasonable in what we ask of our consumer? Can we put together a game that allows them to follow it without reading an extra book or without playing 2 other games that we say aren't part of the main canon but absolutely are?
Yeah, it's like he works for Blizzard. Everything you gotta read for World of Warcraft is outside of the game.
Oh, is it like that? I always thought it was more followable.
Oh, no.
I don't know what the case is with 7 at the moment. I know that is it Kitase? Is the
he's not Nomura's not writing for 7. So
wasn't he on the writing team or was he just on the directorial team?
He was on the directorial team.
Shit, I was about to give him. This was going to be my pass. Like whatever happened in 7 was great because that story is followable. It gets weird, to be certain, but it's supremely followable.
I think he wrote a little bit of 7, but I don't think he wrote like the entirety of the thing. But he's not even head of the head of part 2 anymore. I think that's just full on Katase.
Yes, I believe that is what was said at the last little bit of 1.
Mhm. So, uh, I mean, we tangented into Nomura, which is a horrible thing because that could
let's move
literally
off of
talk.
this. This is gonna get dangerous.
Anyway, Babylon's Fall they did a survey, and they were pretty much asking about what points of the game is like bad and what they need to do to improve it. So hopefully they're gonna get the correct feedback, and they're gonna actually do something with this feedback. But I'm also not like I'm not anywhere near optimistic about it. I think this game is just dead, and they should just try again somewhere else down the line.
Yeah, given what was on the survey, I'm not sure what they could do that's going to like have any profound effect on the game right now.
Yeah.
Again, to your credit, it might look prettier, but it's still all you've done is shined a turd.
Yeah.
So
Shit is still shit.
like, I mean, yeah, you can put lipstick on a pig, but I mean, you're still
It's still pig.
kissing a pig. Sorry, Kermit, I know you're into that.
Oh. But yeah. So I mean, hopefully they fix something down the line, but like I said, I'm not optimistic about it. Next up, in more like obvious news, Sony did say that they are suspending all game sales and hardware in Russia for obvious reasons. Due to the ongoing current crisis over in Europe right now. And this in the same vein as that, Humble Bundle actually is putting out an all-to charity bundle to help fund support for Ukraine. So
this bundle is massive. It incorporates games and books and software, and all they're asking for what comes out to well over $1,000 is $40.
Mm-hmm. And it all
pretty good.
all goes to charity.
And yes, according to them, 100% of it goes to charity.
Yep. Let's see.
Get better, humble bundle.
Yeah, I'm sure someone.
We know you've changed your policy.
Yeah, I'm sure someone will be keeping a sharp eye on that. I'll check back as I remember to see what becomes of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get games like Back for Blood, Spyro, Spyro Reignited, Trilogy, you get Max Payne 3, Fable Anniversary.
Those 3 games alone, $40, easy sell.
They're good games.
And those are 3 games amongst like 60.
Yeah. Yeah, it's 124 items. You get a lot. They've gotten 13.7 million from this. So yeah.
People always want to help others. They're not always able to, and sometimes they have to be very picky with their money. So if you offer them a good enough deal with the promise of being a good person, people will flock to it. This was good, Humble Bundle. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. So yeah, please go if there's any of these games that you want that are on this list. It's literally just $40 and you get them all. So yeah. Next up we have according to Forbes magazine, Forbes article, not magazine. The interest in NFTs in the metaverse are and things like have fallen, so that's good. People are realizing that scummy shit is scummy, and we don't want any of it.
Yeah, I don't have much to add. Fucking good. I can't wait.
It'll probably get. I think we'll probably see a resurgence at some point. We're gonna get to a point. And I forget who I heard say this. But it's probably gonna get to a point where these types of things, they'll probably find a very much less scummy version of them to actually put their stuff into, because while NFTs and like a lot of blockchain stuff is like bad or whatever, the metaverse things in its entirety is a kind of a different aspect, because we play 14. 14's technically a metaverse.
Me. Now you're quoting me. Yes, this was something that we were talking about, and I think you're absolutely right to say it.
They'll find like so like metaverse itself is not exactly like an innately bad thing. It's just companies are making it bad.
They're not even really making it
Facebook.
bad.
They're making it look bad.
That is very true.
Yeah,
That's inarguable. But yeah, like you say, like the concept of the metaverse is, unlike NFTs and most blockchain-oriented things, harmless. What big companies are doing right now is kind of trying to put a name on it so that they can buy the rights to the name, because you can't buy rights to what a metaverse actually is, right? If you go in for the concept of an online database, those have existed forever. If you're going to get specific about that database in terms of like movies or stuff like let's use the Marvel Cinematic Universe and all things that tie to that. Fine, whatever. It still exists. We have things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Hell, even Fortnite is a fantastic example of what the metaverse is, coming from a slightly more extreme version of what Facebook is putting out.
Yeah.
And of course, things like Second Life and VR chat. I think we talked about this particular aspect last week. Like, these are all things that have existed. What we're seeing from, we keep saying Facebook. There are other companies going about it, but Facebook is obviously the most notable. What we see from this is just a company looking for a way to re-pitch the idea, brand it, and then essentially keep that brand to themselves, so they can somehow monetize it. This is all, at the end of the day, trying to find the way to get the most eyes on a product that's going to generate a lot of money.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I mean, hopefully we'll start seeing like actual good things come out of this, and not like
be very strange for a company to monopolize a metaverse too, because the idea of it is being open and free to everybody.
Just
you know,
it's all about ownership. Hashtag NFT bros. All about ownership.
To be fair, even from that perspective, it's not about owning the metaverse, obviously, because like Leek just said, it can't be done. Yeah. But if you can get enough things in one area, you can expose people to ideas and to things to buy that they otherwise wouldn't have seen. You can kind of force an interest in something in that regard, and that's what you can monetize. Mm-hmm. Again, Fortnite, the perfect example of this.
Yeah, definitely. Leak, when did you post? Was this morning that the fucking Project Red said this? CD Projekt.
Oh yeah, it was not this morning. It was yesterday, maybe something like that. But yeah, Project Red, they're going to be working on a new Witcher game, and they're going to be switching from their own engine to Unreal Engine 5.
God, thank goodness.
Yeah, I know. Video game companies do this, please.
Like, on one hand, I get it. I do. I mean, this is not the episode to talk about why this homogenization of engines is both a good and a bad thing, but just be kind to your devs. Let them work on something that's easily understandable. It leads to less problems in the long run, and usually more stable products as an end result. It does, however, mean they have to pay Epic, and maybe, depending on who you are, that's not a good thing. I don't know. I don't care.
Yeah.
Unreal Engine 5 is cool, though. It's great.
Yeah, it's a super solid product. Like, I think Epic deserves to get paid for making this very reliable, super advanced,
Yeah.
really nice engine.
I don't even think Epic has like a super high percentage for their engine.
I think it's higher than Unity, but I think all things considered, at the end of the day, I don't think it's terrible. I'd have to look it up. I was using it.
I think it's less than 30%.
I mean, my goodness, do you not think 10% of a sale is a lot?
Well, no, okay. 10% of a sale, yeah, it is a lot. But like, I mean, when you compare it to things like Steam that take 30% of of a game sale because it's on Steam, it's not that bad. And not to mention, this is a tried and true engine that works
Oh, yeah,
and that
100%.
is easily usable. So I mean, it's definitely worth whatever percentage that Epic has been.
This engine is so solid and so easy to use, and I don't love my school, but I will say this: this is how they taught us our video game audio, and it was a breeze to learn. Easily one of the easiest classes I've had, because like from a technical standpoint, it was just so simple to wrap my head around.
Yeah.
So I am
Now,
super biased now, but I think Unreal's great.
Yeah. Now, like, I think certain companies need to keep like their engines. They have like Capcom continue using RE engine. RE engines are good. Fucking what is it? Kojima and Horizon and Guerrilla still need to keep using Decima engine because Decima engine is good. Square, fuck everything good on Unreal.
Oh yeah, Square's not had the best track record with Luminous, have they? The Luminous Suite and the Luminous Light
or
and
Crystal
all of that.
Tools, like Crystal,
or
Crystal
CT,
Tools.
yeah.
It's not been the best. I mean, we'll see later on this year.
I have looked up the Unreal Engine fee because I was curious.
Yeah.
To read directly word for word from the website, get started for free. Unreal Engine is free to use for creating linear content, custom projects, and internal projects. It's also free to get started on for game development. A 5% royalty only kicks in when your title earns over $1 million. So it's 5%. It's a little bit less than what I thought, and kicks in at 1 million, which I think most major titles are guaranteed to hit.
Yeah. So if you just want to try it out, you can do it. If you're a small indie team, you can do it.
Yeah.
It's very good.
I think the 5% is mainly for indie teams because I think if companies like Square Enix or like I guess CD Projekt Red, they obviously I think they go in with a contract to with Epic most
possibly,
likely.
Yeah, that would make sense.
And Epic is like Epic is probably like, you know, will their percentage is probably a little bit higher than 5%. I mean, it could just still be 5% because I mean, it's free to use. So,
yeah, and it is a licensing option that has always been there, and they've been very upfront about. So I'm not sure how that would work for bigger companies that maybe want to argue for a better deal, wherein both companies still make so much money.
Epic also has a very strict policy of putting the Epic the Unreal Engine symbol on it or whatever.
Yes.
Yeah. Most people
because they don't want any game they don't want just any game using it having the Unreal Engine label on it. So yeah,
I suppose there's conditions.
Yeah, because like they don't care who makes a game with the engine or whatever, but you have to go through certain hoops to actually like
that
put
makes
the
sense.
Unreal label on it because they want to make sure that good games have the Unreal Engine label on it and not like shitty.
It's
shitty,
branding.
like,
it's typical branding.
Yeah. So
they don't want you to associate their game with anything but like what they deem as a fair or at least a positive representation of their engine.
That's the only good thing I can give Epic right now, is that they have probably one of the best engines ever created. So
yeah, I think even people who like gut check hate Epic would Well, first of all, I think a lot of them don't realize that Unreal is Epic, and for the ones that do, yeah, they'll say that Epic is. Oh, sorry, that Unreal is the exception. That they super support that.
Yeah. I'll go back a little bit to the Witcher announcement. They released a poster as well with the announcement, and it looks like there's like the cat school medallion. It looks like a cat school medallion. That's interesting. Because there was rumors that they would be letting people create their own Witcher for the next game.
Yes.
And that would be neat.
To
a lot of people
follow
are
up,
like, Siri main character, Siri main character. That's what
no, I don't think you do that. I think the strength of the characters around Geralt were that you don't play as them. And yeah, that was absolutely the cat school. I'm really interested in this. And now that they've gotten away from the Red Engine, which we've heard bad things about during the dev cycles for a couple of Witcher games, if not all of the Witcher games. And certainly we heard a lot of issues being had during Cyberpunk. Goodness gracious, there were very obviously from the finished product, well, the first time around, yeah, there were a lot of issues there. So it'll be nice to see what happens from their use of Unreal 5. We've seen the Unreal 5, not the reveal trailer, but I guess the technical walkthrough they showed us afterwards. It looks amazing, and I can already see. Well, I say Geralt, but obviously will not be playing as Geralt if a cat skull medallion is how they're selling this. And Leek has correctly pointed out that they did say we might have a chance to make our own. So that'll be cool. Oh, also, Leek, because you're the one who told me about this, do you reckon they go with the cat school because it allows female witches?
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah. I didn't know that they were so specific until Leek told me.
Yeah, it's not a women only, but they allow women to become witches in cat school.
Yes, not only, but
so it is in canon. It's not just like, oh, we're just letting women play it. No, you know,
exactly.
Like, no, it's in the canon too.
Very interesting. Yeah, they probably will let you make your own character this time around. Should be good.
To be fair,
everybody likes a good character creator.
If that's true, that's a big risk. Contrary to the writer, Sapkowski, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Contrary to the writer, who writes Geralt to be a bit more boring, the games have always done a very good job of making him interesting and surrounding Geralt with more interesting people. So whilst I don't imagine the NPCs are going to get any worse, having our own Witcher leads me to two ideas. A, please don't be a silent protagonist.
Oh yeah, I was thinking that too.
Don't. B, it'll be something closer to Dragon Age, where the responses will be canned, but you'll have a fair few emotions to pick from.
Well, you know, they've got like the cyberpunk thing working, haven't they, sort of, so maybe they'll do something similar.
Yeah, well, that's such a better example than Dragon Age, fair enough.
They're their own game.
They have literally made another game like this. I just tend to forget about it, because, oh boy.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I still haven't beaten Witcher 3, and don't know if I ever will, just because.
Yeah. Oh, don't say that. I recommend it. Like, it really was a fun run through.
Oh no, I mean, the game's fun and all. It's just I'm afraid to pick up Horizon Forbidden West again because the world's just so dense.
That's fair. I feel like Witcher is dense, and for its time, it was hugely dense. But I think Witcher is less punishing for you to just run through the story as best as possible. And I would absolutely recommend it. Witcher 3 story was super. It was like, it was warm and, well, it was filled with violence, but it was still warm and wholesome at the end.
No, okay. Next up, Sega Tokyo arcades are now officially no more. Sega has gotten rid of their section of the of their company that deals with the arcades. They do not exist anymore.
Yeah, I feel like, and I think, League, maybe you'll be able to speak to one aspect of this that I just am unable to cover, but it feels like arcades in general are finally going the way of like the American arcade, where home gaming has gotten to the point, especially now after COVID, um, seeing how not unprofitable it is, but how easily impacted arcades are. It it might be people looking in and thinking we have a more safe method of getting these same people to play our games. So I don't know.
I don't know. They started shutting them down like during the pandemic, like the big
Mhm.
one in Akihabara. That was shut down and stuff. Like, is it last year? Year, something like that, year before, maybe. No, last year. There's news about it. So I'm not surprised as this has happened, but it's so sad.
It
Arcades
is.
have such a nice memory of going to there and stuff.
I mean, Americans are always about like how we miss the well. Let me rephrase: the fighting game side of arcades. I can't speak to everyone else. Are always lamenting the loss of that very physical community atmosphere. It's unique from playing at home, even in competitive environments.
Yeah,
And
and
hmm?
I guess it's not just the pandemic to blame. It's one of these downward spiral things because, like, I
Yes,
remember a number of years ago. Oh gosh, there was a Sega arcade in Yoyogi as well. It was right near the station, so it's not like it was out the way or anything like that. It was easy accessible, and that got gutted and removed as well before the pandemic.
Yeah,
yeah,
it seemed like it was a downward spiral.
it's kind of the inevitability of home gaming, right? Is that it takes a huge hit on any public setup, because in the case of anything happening where the arcade doors have to be closed, that that company, not so much a company like Sega in this regard, but whoever owns that building, that actual arcade venue, is no longer making money. So therefore, someone like Sega isn't making whatever bit that they take from that. Whereas that never goes away with online stuff. Console gaming, PC, they have the same, assumably the same base, and they're always linked up. In America, the only time I ever see arcades are in theaters and potentially in theme parks and such. But yeah, arcades are very much a thing of the past here in America, and it seems that unfortunately that's probably going to become commonplace. I'd
Yeah.
love to go put my quarters down and do in-person stuff. It's a good learning environment. Again, I'm speaking specifically of like the fighting game side of things, but there were also other great games. Like we wouldn't have things like House of the Dead and Time Crisis. Freaking love a good Time
Dude,
Crisis.
I want to play. I want to play Typing of the Dead.
Isn't that coming out soon, or is that no? That is
Oh,
actually House of the
are they
Dead. Never mind.
re-releasing it? Are
No, no, no.
they?
Hold on. I think I've gotten you excited. I believe it is actually House of the Dead and not Typing of the Dead, which is a pity because I think all of us grew up
That's how I
playing
learned
Typing
to
of the Dead.
fucking touch type.
Yeah, yeah, it is.
Yeah, if I recall correctly, you can actually download Typing of the Dead somewhere.
Yeah, there probably
Hmm.
is
Free
an
PC.
emulator or something. Oh,
Yeah.
there's probably is it on Steam?
That
I'm
is
not
a
sure.
good question.
Is it?
Uh,
Check.
let's see. Typing. Yeah, it is. Typing of the Dead, Overkill.
Hey,
I
think
just
think
love
they
the
just got two
stupid
more
fucking
sales.
word to ask you to type.
Yeah, it has a bunch of DLC too.
Oh, good.
So yeah, it's sad to see arcades go, but I mean, it was bound to happen at some point in time. So, Dalit, this next bit of news came to a bit of a shock because I actually missed it last week.
Oh,
And I didn't know this existed until a couple of days ago. Well, when I was listening to the other podcast that I listened to, or yesterday, technically. Arknight's Enfield was announced, and a small bit of gameplay was shown. This looks like an actual video game and not a mobile game.
Well, hold on. You've gotten excited, and I can kind of burst your bubble a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been following this just for a short time, and I, of course, missed the day where they decided to drop everything. So you posting that came as something of a surprise to me. Up until that point, I'd seen the teasers, a lot of the design works for like backgrounds and a couple characters here and there, but I hadn't seen anything in motion, at least not like that. And whilst yes, that looks like a video game as opposed to the drop in tower defense that is Arknights currently, as I recall, Enfield is being designed for PC, Android, and iOS. So I think what we're actually getting is something much closer to Genshin Impact.
That game does not look like it would be
Really?
able to run on a phone.
Yes. Well, you'd be surprised how fucking fancy phones have gotten. So yeah, like I mean, I'm sure there will be adjustments. I'm sure it's not going to look as clear as it does on the videos that we have currently, because those are being run on a PC just for capture reasons. All the same, if you're familiar with Arknights, the core conceit I'm sure will not be changing. The characters look very familiar, though they are all new thus far, and it seems that the puzzle aspect has moved away from a tower defense to maybe a more environmental puzzle based thing. Obviously, they've only revealed a trailer and a very brief snippet of gameplay, traversal more than gameplay. So we'll
Yeah.
see more as time goes on. It looks wonderful. I'm always surprised when a team can go from 2D to 3D so gracefully. And obviously, these are teams with a lot of money.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, and admittedly, Arknights. I like Arknights for a bunch of reasons. Obviously, the pretty PNGs. I'm not gonna beat around the bush. That's how Psycho got me into it. But the music is absolutely godlike, and the character and storytelling is actually surprisingly good. I like Fate. Its story is competent after a point, but Arknights is a better world and narrative than some AAA games. And I would love to see a game that wasn't based around gacha. I'd love to see Hypergriff or Studio Montag or whoever is the lead studio on it make a series of actual video games. I promise you, I will buy all of them.
Yeah, I'm reading it up. It does look, it does say Android and Apple
Yes,
iOS
okay,
devices.
so there you go. So yeah, expect
Yeah,
something akin to Genshin Impact in terms of the game itself, perhaps not the specifics, obviously. Arknights works in a dystopian semi-future.
It looked like Nier is what it kind of looked like when people
So
when they were walking
yeah,
around, and I got a
it's
bit of
not
Nier
like
vibe to it.
it's not so far into the future that it's unrealistic, but also they're anime characters with animal or mythological creature motifs, and they
Yeah.
use guns or
Yeah.
occasionally swords. Or occasionally just their fists. Some of them are just really strong, I guess. So
But if they release it on any console, please don't carry over the currency for mobile games, because that's what put me off Genshin Impact.
yes,
I hated the
agree.
mobile cap. It was annoying.
Because of the addition of Android and iOS, I would say please do not go into this game expecting a standard style AAA game. Go in expecting a mobile title that is just easier to play on like your TV or I guess your monitor.
Well, this is how I feel like. I think this is the correct way to do like mobile games or whatever. You have a mobile game that gives you the money, and then you make a better looking video game that will also get you money, while still holding the same other game that is getting you money, and it's just a circle of money. And from what I know, Arknights isn't very what's the word? It's like not bad.
It's
Like,
it's
I
not
like your
predatory, but
exclamation. Explanation was pretty much like get game, make game.
yeah.
Question mark, question mark, question mark, profit.
Profit. It's
Uh,
pretty much what it is.
but I mean, to your point, I do understand. Make a good game that makes money, so you can make a game closer to your vision that'll also print money. But
Yeah.
to the follow up you had, no, I wouldn't call Arknights predatory. However, just because I like it doesn't change the fact that it's a gotcha game.
Yeah.
And so if you are weak to that sort of thing, there is nothing in Arknights to stop you from screwing yourself over.
Yeah.
And they make, like I said, the upside is their characters are in general like 80/20 really well written, so that might actually end up causing you to feel the need to roll for them. I don't know. Just take the same precautions as you would for any gotcha game. But no, it's not outwardly predatory in that regard. I don't think. I don't feel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Next up we have Halo Infinite loses about 95% of its player base on Steam.
Yeah, that's not good.
No. I get people are sick of playing a game that's bad. That has bad.
Well, you brought up the Battle Pass issue with Babylon's Fall, but far be it for us to say that Square's the only one with this issue. Turns out,
Oh yeah.
343 also has that issue.
Yeah, the battle pass in this game sucks. And this is just like the multiplayer side. The multiplayer, like from what I hear, playing the multiplayer itself is fun. Everything that surrounds the multiplayer is what kills the multiplayer.
I mean, I didn't put as much time into this as I even put into just Reach and 3 for the Master Chief Collection, but or 2, not 3. But like I got in, it felt like a Halo game. It played like it felt good to shoot gun. I do wish they had launched with SWAT. I just still don't know why that didn't exist.
They didn't even launch with Slayer, man.
No, they launched with like Team Slayer and such, but and that's fine, and that's fine.
They launched with Big Team Battle.
Big Team Battle. You are correct.
They didn't launch with a Slayer playlist at all.
This is true. That didn't deter me. I took one look at the Battle Pass and immediately recognized, okay, I don't care about this. Whatever I have at the start is just what I have.
Yeah.
Which is probably not what you want someone's reaction to be. I like obviously they wanted me to see something, be it like one of the later helmets or the colors that they had available, which was ridiculous, or maybe the AI packs, and be really excited. And no, you're not going to get that from me. I like the series. I love the first 3 games in Reach, but nah, I'm all right.
Yeah, I haven't touched.
Naturally, yeah. When I was playing, there was no story. The campaign had yet to launch, and was it that this will have no local co-op or just no co-op at all? I forget.
There's no co-op at all.
There's no co-op at all. That's right. So yeah, that's also bizarre to me because unlike Tales of, where I kind of belabor the point that I didn't think co-op was a central tenet to the single player aspect of it, or sorry, to the story aspect of it. I don't think that's true of Halo. I still see the Halo campaign as being a cooperative thing. It's how I've played it since the beginning. Me and my friend Will would sit down, play the hardest one available, and if it wasn't legendary, and if it wasn't legendary, we would then go through it again on legendary.
Yeah. Yeah, like there's no co-op for the story. I hear the story's not even good at all. Like
I have also heard that, which is disappointing.
Honestly, I've heard that people would rather play Guardian than do the story of Halo Infinite.
That's
I
not
mean,
good because people had nothing good to say about Guardian for a very long time.
dude, 343 doesn't even acknowledge Guardians. It's not even part of the Master Chief collection.
That's true.
They're not even they're not ever bringing it to PC, which kind of pisses me off because Halo is one of those series where like I've played all the stories of Halo, so if they brought Guardians to PC, I would probably get it because the Halo games are cheap on PC, and honestly, it would be on Game Pass anyway. And I would just play it to play the story, but they didn't bring it, and so that's why I'm not like even worried about playing Infinite because there's gonna be a gap in any bit of storyline that they may have any bit of tying into at some point in time, and I'm just gonna be like meh. So no, I'm not gonna get an Xbox to play Guardians because I know Guardians suck shit. So. But yeah, it's lost a lot of its player base on Steam. It's dropped behind a few games on Xbox as well. It's definitely in a dire state, and 343 is gonna have to get their shit together to get it out of the dirt. And honestly, I don't even know if they're even gonna do that. It might be one of those games where you kind of just yeah, we'll just scrap it and try again in another 4 years, guys.
Well, I mean, in terms of the multiplayer is absolutely salvageable, right? Fix the
Yeah.
PC crashing, adjust the payout for the Battle Pass to increase like anyone's desire to chase anything.
Yeah.
Make the things on the Battle Pass worth chasing, and
So
incorporate game modes that people are asking for. Turns out if you give people what they want, they'll probably interact with your stuff.
The good thing about Halo's Battle Pass is that it saves your progress for when if like that season disappears or whatever and it comes back again, it'll keep the progress that you had in that season.
Brilliant. Love to hear it.
Yeah, so that's like the only good thing about that Battle Pass. Everything else is just shit. And then like, you know, the things you get to like the point you even get to even using the Battle Pass is either very hard or just like not fun at all. So yeah, it's unfortunate, but I mean, we all saw these Halo problems coming from a mile away because of how long it's been delayed, and
then on launch it had its own problems. Before its launch, it had problems that caused a very last minute delay. So yeah, you're right. We did kind of foresee this as a possible outcome.
Yeah. You know what we didn't foresee as an outcome? Microsoft making fucking Xbox controllers with fur on them.
I thought it was a joke. Is it third party though? Is it not official?
No, it's official. It's a giveaway from Microsoft.
See, now this is funny. So when you posted that, I'm seriously lacking sleep today. The spaghetti brain. But I woke up and I was in that haze where I was like, am I awake actually? And I saw this. I was like, no way am I awake. No. I'm going back to sleep.
So yeah, Xbox announced
it.
that they're doing a giveaway in celebration of the new Sonic movie coming out, where they've made their own Sonic version of their Xbox Series S. It's not the Series X. It's just the Series S or whatever. And
I mean, I guess don't look a gift horse in the mouth.
And it comes with controllers that are completely covered in red and blue fur.
Like, that is awful for a bunch of reasons, right?
It's not even a little bit fuzzy, though, is it? It's not a bit fuzzy. It's like a fucking wig. It's like you can comb your controller.
Shit is going to get in there. It's gonna mat. It's gonna get like that weird greasy nonsense from like.
You're gonna get snacks in there.
It's gonna be awful.
You can't shampoo a controller. You're not gonna be able to clean that shit.
Let me tell you what, furries are gonna love this though.
Shampoo the controller.
Your little plaits, you know, French braid. Well,
Furry,
they
furries.
could have just.
Oh, I'm gonna put cornrows on my controller.
Oh no!
Oh god. Oh god. No. Please no.
But yeah, like these aren't meant to be used. Any
No,
amount of
no.
use is gonna absolutely fucking ruin them. These are meant to be like put on display somewhere, which is bizarre because, as League just said, these are not representative of those two characters. If I saw these two, I wouldn't think, oh yeah, clearly that's meant to be Sonic and Knuckles. I would think, the fuck kind of weird hobby do you have?
If they were
No, I
releasing
mean-
a troll, those troll dolls back in the
Yes.
90s,
Yeah, that's
the
exactly
gem
what it
trolls,
is.
whatever. Yeah, that would make more sense. They got the same sort of hair fucking texture.
If I walked into somebody's house and they had fur covered controllers, I'd be like, "So you're one of those."
Damn, Upper came in hard with the judging.
Like how they could have like made it, that velvet texture.
Yes,
Yeah.
correct. This
They
is
could
what
have
I
done
was
that
saying.
instead, and it feels nice.
But
Like
they didn't.
realistically, isn't the best option just to do like paint the characters onto the controller like you always do though? Like just
Why does it
don't
have
make,
to be
don't make
fur?
the controller weird. Just don't make the controller weird. Why you make
They
the
made it
controller
weird. Why did you have to make it weird?
You could have had a cool ass fucking design on these controllers. You could have had something super fucking cool, all right, on these controllers. No, you had to put fur on them. Who the fuck?
I don't know what to say, man. Make it blue, make it red, put like Sonic's eyes on it somewhere. I don't know, maybe draw him on running
Someone
around.
is gonna fucking Photoshop the original Sonic CG face on it. You
Oh,
know it's
no,
gonna
Oh,
happen.
no.
All right, we're
Oh.
moving on. Dolly, FGC news. FGC news, Dolly. Come on. It's your time
Okay,
to
so
shine.
as I mentioned earlier, the FGC had its third roundtable meeting. Again, I completely missed the second, so I don't know what happened there. And in this, they covered a couple of really interesting topics that I'm going to go over very quickly. First, should Japanese game developers, specifically fighting game developers, be pursuing maybe a free-to-play variant of fighting game, which is super interesting because that's kind of what everyone expects League of L or whatever League of Legends is calling its brawler. So obviously the JP devs were against that, and they came out pretty hard against saying like, nah, you get a worse quality game overall for it. And despite having a huge player base at the start, we expect them to fall off. And really, they weren't saying anything that wasn't true of a $60 game. But hey, who am I to judge? After that, we got into a lot of just nitty gritty stuff. I won't bore you with the details, but there were some announcements. Sorry, I'm actually going to change this up.
Yeah.
Let's go with the announcement of Omega Rugal from SNK.
Okay.
So KOF 15 has come out. They've released their first DLC cast. I guess we didn't cover it. That was Rock, B. Jeanette, who looks amazing, and Garo, who looks really cool. And they've just announced there will be another free update this time with Rugal, Omega Rugal to be specific, and they're introducing a boss mode where he's just really hard. He's just so difficult. He's so hard. But if you beat him, you get nice things. I don't know if that's how you get him. I think he just comes for free. But you get an outfit and a stage for beating him, and that's really cool. Other than that, this was not dropped during the roundtable, but Tekken's getting another animation. The first Tekken movie was good back in the day. Probably not so much now. This Tekken animation looks like it's going to keep a bit closer to the story that we know, and it definitely looks very all right.
Very all right.
I do not have high hopes for this. It is a Netflix animation, and admittedly, Netflix animations have been pretty rock solid as of late. So if there is a cause for optimism, that's it. Keep your fingers crossed if you love Tekken. I would love to be wrong about this.
I only remember one Tekken movie, animated movie, and I think
There's
it was
only
like
one other Tekken animated movie.
Is there?
Unless you there's a 3D one, which I guess is animated. But when we say animated, we mean like that old 90s, maybe even
Okay.
no, it has to be the
Okay.
90s
No,
animated
I had the
movie.
VHS of it. I had the VHS.
Yes,
Yeah. Okay.
those eyebrows though, so
Yeah.
strong.
Dude, I only wanted it for the scene with not Nina, but her
Please don't
Anna
say,
Williams.
God damn it. You're a horrible, 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 nasty little
That's
boy. That's
that's the
fair.
only that's the only reason why I remembered it. Because there's a scene with Anna Williams in the shower naked, and I was like, okay, just full ass
It's not
titties.
even that long. But yeah, it is full ass titties. This particular animation probably won't have that, but it follows Jin circa the I guess it'd be circa Tekken 3 or just a bit before that, because June's alive. Does this mean that Tekken 8's coming out soon and June will be in it? Who knows? But yeah, this follows the story of Tekken 3, or at least right before Tekken 3, as Jin gets to know the Mishima side of his family. And it looks like Heihachi, being the old crotchety bastard he is going to kick Jin's ass too and make him a better fighter that way.
Then he turns into Devil Jin.
Well, yeah, he actually turns into Devil Jin when Heihachi shoots him in the head, but I don't think that'll be covered.
What about the old? There was an old Tekken shit animation.
That is the one that we were talking about.
Yeah.
Is that one?
Okay.
Where with like it was very clearly the old 80s and 90s style anime, and it follows Kazuya as he goes through.
Yeah.
Nothing like what the games are. That story is a mess. There was another one before the release of Tekken Tag Tournament 2, I believe is when it came out. Or maybe after the release of Tekken Tag Tournament 2, that followed Jin versus Kazuya, and they got new devil forms, and they were hideous, and people like them, and you're wrong for liking them.
Hey, there was a Tekken live action movie.
Yeah,
we don't talk about that.
Good.
We don't talk about that.
Oh man, like they had so many correct casting choices, and it was just bad. It was just bad. I did of course watch it because I eat up all of this shit like pancakes. Let's get off Tekken really quick and go to Guilty Gear, because this is the one that's most current and has been blowing up the internet. So Testament got announced. Testament is the final DLC of of the first wave. That DLC being made up of Biken. Nope, I have to go look it up because I don't play this game.
One of them's biking. I know that. I don't remember who the other one was that got because there's only like 3 characters, right?
I will tell you here in a moment, because I'm looking at 2 of them and their names elude me, because one of them is the large, I think it was like Gold something. There you go. Gold Lewis Dickinson, Jacko, who I'd completely forgotten about. How did I do that? And another one of the Valentines. Oh, Christ, what is his name? Happy Chaos. So they, along with Biken, were the current roster up until now. And we're getting another returning character from Double X. This is Testament. And they look amazing.
I love their outfit so much. I love the outfit. I love the hat, the neck frill, the waistcoat thing, their skirt thing. They look so classy.
They're aggressively attractive. Also,
yes, aggressively attractive.
Also, for all of you who are sitting there going, "How dare you simp for that horrible, horrible Hellspawn?" Yeah, you're right. You're right. It doesn't look like they're that bad this time round. But until we get our hands on them and see exactly what Testament can do,
there's
cause for concern.
Is there no video release of their moveset or anything?
There is, but how do I say this kindly? The devs aren't the best people to judge the capacity of a character off of.
Also, Arc System is very bad.
Oh, well, that's fair. In general, the reveal trailers are always terribly short, but they did also do a follow-up video where they went into, as Leek has pointed out, the moveset.
Oh, okay.
So that gives us an idea of what Testament is capable of, but it doesn't show the bullshittery. When someone gets their hands on this character and we see what this character is capable of with Meter, we'll find out if this is the testament from Double X that'll keep you locked down forever, or if you'll actually have a fighting chance.
No, they're aggressively
But hey,
attractive. You have no chance.
I mean, look, even if I don't have any chance, it'll be really fun watching myself die the first 100 times because they just look so nice. For you,
Yeah.
Aqua, because I found this amusing. Literally, the first post that I saw anyone on my timeline talk about Testament. Sorry, second post. The first post was a fucking hilarious joke. The second post was people immediately saying, "Hey, can we get a Kali mod for this?"
You know what? I could see Callie. I could see that.
So I very much assume that we will be seeing that. I believe that's my wrap on news for the fighting game corner this week. It was, oh man, a lot of stuff was at the end of the month. Enjoying the video? Remember to like and sub. Helps out the channel a bunch, and we're grateful for everyone we get. There was definitely more to that fighting game roundtable. It's all the major contenders: Bandai Namco, Sega, Arc Systems, SNK. All of the people you would expect to be there are, and they talk very openly about their feelings on the community right now. Well, not the community, but just fighting games in general. It's always worth having a look. See, matter of fact, I'm going to go back and find the second roundtable, figure out if I actually did miss that or if I'm just forgetting it, because it's super fun to listen to these unhinged madmen speak.
I remember there was a roundtable that we covered, but
that was the first one.
That was the first one. Okay,
it was the first one.
I didn't hear anything about a second one. I didn't hear anything.
It's entirely possible that I did hear about it, and it kind of just fell into line with what I expected and doesn't stand out to me. I'll let you know.
Before we get into this next bit of news, I did run into something. It's not breaking news, but I guess it's breaking news. So Activision Blizzard will be holding its shareholders vote for the Microsoft merger, for the Microsoft buyout on April 28th. Activision Blizzard's calling on all shareholders to vote in favor of the Microsoft deal. So
this is interesting. I guess I kind of assumed that the investors had to be on board with this anyway. So it's interesting to hear that this is the time where they're getting to make their feelings known.
Yeah. They're going to hold the vote on the 28th, and we should know the results of that by May 4th. The article goes into talk about what would happen if it's not like if it's not a majority vote for doing it. And apparently from what I read, both Activision Blizzard and Microsoft would have to pay each other's a fee, which is I feel like it's weird. I think Activision Blizzard has to pay like Microsoft like $2.something million, and Microsoft has to like pay them a certain amount. So I guess like a bit of it probably negates it a little bit. So yeah. So we'll
that's putting the forest before the trees. Do we even think that the shareholders aren't going to say yes? Do we think that it's a possibility that they say no? We wish to remain separated from. Sorry, we wish to remain a separate entity.
I mean, it's all shareholders. So I mean, this is even people that like own any little bit of stock in Activision Blizzard.
Yeah, but only the majority shareholders' opinion will actually matter.
Oh yeah, well yeah. No, I mean, I don't think it's gonna go in the way of saying no, that they don't want to do this merger. But I mean, there could always be an upset. Who knows? Weirder things have happened. Like, I mean, 6 months ago, I would not tell you that we'd be even having this conversation about Microsoft buying Activision Blizzard. So, who knows? But yeah, that was just released a little bit ago. So we will be following that. The vote starts on April 28th, and we'll know by the 4th of May. So this next bit of news has been sweeping the internet the past couple of days. GT7, Gran Turismo 7 went down for maintenance for about 30-something hours. This is a always online video game, so that means even if you're doing single player stuff in that video game, you had no access to that game for like 34 hours. That is a problem for that video game. That is a problem for that video game, but that's not the problem we're actually going to be talking about. The problem that we're going to be talking about is the patch that came out for it, going from 1.06 to 1.07. Where they decided to increase the amount of microtransactions from, I think it was $5 to technically $20, but you would need 40 to buy certain cars. They increased the price of some of the cars in the game, and they decreased the amount you get from doing races. In a weird, what looks to be a very scummy corporate move to force people to drain their wallet to get these cars, because some of these people that will just shell out money to get these cars. It is a very corporate looking move, which is why I'm hesitant to say that it's really on Polyphony Digital on this bit, and probably more on Sony. The idea that came from Kaz, who's one of the main developer for this game, was that they wanted the prices of cars to be a bit more realistic to their IRL counterparts, which is a bit of a weird thing to say. Considering we're playing video games here, and people don't play video games for realism, and yes, we want it to be harder for us to buy these super high-end cars. We want it to be more like actually buying a car in real life. But that's not the main issue for this. The main issue is that it was a one fell swoop move that immediately made it harder to get cars by doing races, and then while also increasing the price from actual real world money to buy the credits in that game. We were gonna try to have somebody on for this to talk about this a little bit more, because neither of us play Gran Turismo, but the person we were getting on couldn't come on today. So I did get a statement from them, and they that this person is Sly, aka Gray Fox. We've had him on a couple times before. And he's really into these games. His statement for this, the current state of the game in terms of game economy, is a bit to worry about. And the funny thing is he doesn't believe that it's in the hands of Kazunori Yamauchi, who's the main dev for the game. He thinks it's mainly in Sony's hands, which just does look like more of a publisher greed type thing. Because I don't know how much it took to make this game. Or whatever, but I assume maybe sales for Gran Turismo 7 wasn't as high as Sony was expecting, maybe, and so maybe they increased the prices of things to maybe offset the amount of money that they probably put into having Polyphony Digital make this game. But it's neither here nor there. He goes, the statement made by Kaz is understandable but conflicting. He said he wants to make GT7 a game in which you can enjoy a variety of cars in a lot of different ways, and if possible, would like to try to avoid a situation where a player must mechanically keep replaying certain events over and over again, which I feel is a bit weird, considering they made it harder to get credits in this game. and so it's going to push more onto people playing the same thing over and over and over again, because obviously people are going to min-max this for getting the super overpriced cars that they want.
It's now been made important to do so.
So it is very conflicting on that statement. In GT Sport, the economy was more natural since sport mode was that we did dailies and weeklies. We would do races to get up in rank and naturally get a decent amount of credits for it. But by the time in late 2021, early 2022, we didn't have anything to spend like their credits on, because everybody had pretty much had all of their core sets and cars in certain races. The difference with GT7 is amounts to several different things. One, the expectations of car collectability. They want you to collect cars rather than to stick with what you're comfortable with. And two, car parts are back and they cost credits. They're like engine upgrades, tires, etc., etc. Whereas the only thing you really paid for in GT Sport was flat performance upgrades, and those cost mileage points instead of credits. 3, the Haggerty Collection, which are the cars that a lot of people are highlighting in their arguments, are relative to their real-world value. These cars that would naturally go for millions at auctions because of rarity, history, prestige, etc. Should cars from the Haggerty Collection be at the core of why people are mad, though? He goes on to say, he goes, no, not at all. The game just came out, and you're going to have to work for your Ferrari 330 or your Sauber Mercedes. Instant gratification can't exist everywhere. What should be at the core of the argument, because he agrees with the core part of the argument that should be there, is that the cost of touring cars that would get more used in sports mode races or competitive online matches. If we're going to be playing this game competitively, reasonable access should be given to Group 3 and Group 4 cars that make up a majority of sports mode races. Thus, you can either adjust the prices of those cars or adjust rewards of current races, both in regular map mode and in competitive and casual online races. The decision to adjust rewards was a misstep, and that but it's a misstep that seems to be 20% Kaz and probably 80% Sony. Kaz has stated that there will be more events in the game, to garner better rewards coming soon, and he believes that as in the recent Jimmy Fallon GT7 YouTube video, it shows an event that they currently do not have in the game. So as a Gran Turismo fan, he is slightly disappointed but optimistic. But the game doesn't deserve the amount of misplaced ire it has received in the past week. So much is for certain. That's what Sly had to say about it.
Thank you, Sly.
Yeah, thanks, Sly. And I agree with him to a point, because gamers can be, what's the word for it? Very extreme.
Please don't say entitled. Okay, thank God. Yes, we can be aggressively extreme.
Because this game's user score after this patch went down to like 2.8 on Metacritic, because it had everybody just fucking review bombed it, which I never agree to, because that just makes it look like the game is bad, and by all means the game itself in its entirety is not bad. There have been some decisions very corporate wise in the higher ups of like Sony and maybe higher ups at Polyphony Digital that were bad, and I do agree that this is a very scummy tactic, and should be called out 100%. But it doesn't deserve to be called bad game. that makes sense, right?
It does, yeah. It comes down to a case of, is it a bad game or have bad decisions been made around it, and at what point do those bad decisions make it a bad game?
Yeah. Because at its core, it's not a bad game. All right, it's still a racing game. It still functions as a good racing game. It's just
GT might not be the best-selling sim anymore, but it's certainly, if not the most prestigious one of them, one of the most long-term prestigious titles.
Yeah. It just I agree. They misstepped with adjusting the reward pricing, the rewards. They can increase the microtransaction price. I mean, that's whatever. All right. This is one of those games where you're expected to play it a lot to get the stuff that you want to like use. Cuz what Sly was saying is that, stuff in the Haggerty collection, you're not going to be using in races, all right? You're buying them to collect them, all right? Most of those cars you don't use in races. Or you just can't use in races cuz like some races will not allow like certain cars. But those are the cars that you're expected to grind towards anyway because they're extremely expensive. Like, I mean, some of them are like upwards of like close to like 10 million credits, and you only get like 30 to 80 credits for certain races. Or not 30 to 80,000 credits. God, 30 to 80 credits would be fucking dumb. But I don't play this game, and I don't want to sit here like act like I'm like, hey, I definitely don't like decisions like this, especially when they've been made in like one fell swoop, like a bunch of changes, and it just looks like we making this game harder to grind in, and you can just shill out $40.
It should be noted,
buy these cars.
Yeah, it should be noted this is not the first attempt that Gran Turismo has had to mark up the difficulty in attaining cars. At the time of recording, because I might feel differently, we know that GT6 and Sport, if that's not the same game, apologies, I also don't play this game, also had higher rates. You had to do more to get those, like the vaunted sports cars that maybe you're not touring with all the time.
Mm-hmm.
There is a difference, however. Apparently, in GT7, there really aren't like login events and seasonal events happening to a degree to make up the offset. Whereas in the previous, more aggressively priced games, there were ways to soften the blow. There was a login event that would net you credits, and there were seasonal events that would net
Yeah.
you not premium, but an increase in credit flow, so it offset the difference. Where this just doesn't seem to be the case here, and it's the real. I think that's the real core of the problem. As far as the microtransactions go, I think the markup is fucking egregious.
Oh yeah, it's
But
very
I
egregious.
do expect, as the games continue on, for those prices to increase. I think the jump up was just ridiculous. I don't know why they would ever
That's
expect anyone to be okay with it.
$5 to $20. $5 to $20.
Well, so, and this is something we brought up earlier, and I need clarification on. You mentioned that it's 5 to 20, but you need to buy 40. Why is that?
Because I think because the credit pack for it, is 20, and you only get a certain amount in there, so you need to buy 2 credit packs, I think.
Okay, well then the price of the car might as well just be the full 40, because it's however much money you have to then
but it
the game.
It just depends on the car.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not like this. This is moving into like more and more of the mobile pricing strategies, and I really don't like that.
Yeah.
Like this,
This
I
game,
don't know.
this game just came out or whatever, and this would be a little bit different if it shipped this way. Reviewers didn't have this, so when they reviewed the game, it was a bit of a scummy move because normally if reviewers were able to see that that the monetization was going to go this way, like a week after the game came out or whatever, they would have had something. They would have given that different scores or whatever. So this definitely shows like a thing where it's like, we're going to do this for the first week this is out, and then we're going to immediately change it because we want our good review scores, and we don't want our monetization to influence that. So that's the way it looks. It's just very, very scummy, and I'll have to agree with Sly. This does definitely seem more of like a Sony thing than a Polyphony Digital thing.
Hard to say. It wouldn't make me feel better, but I certainly hope it's a Sony thing. It would be a shame for Polyphony to think they could get away with this after the fan base they've gone over all the years.
Yeah. But I mean, we'll see. I feel like they probably should have waited to do this update if they were planning to do this update anyway. I feel like they should have waited until they started doing these events that like Kaz was talking about in his statement towards it, because he was saying that there are events that are going to be coming out that will probably net you like a good amount of credits for doing these events and stuff like that. But I think they should have probably waited for that, because this is in the first week period where there's not really much in the game other than just playing the game. So you don't have all these like Sly was saying, there was a Jimmy Fallon event that was shown. They don't even have that in the game yet. So it feels like a bit too early to do this. But I mean, again, like I said, could have been a Sony thing, so who knows. But yeah, I agree. Don't people that review bomb video games need to stop, because that's just dumb. All right, the game's not bad. The game's just had bad decisions been made. All right,
it's different. Like, it's certainly it's always going to be super bad for the game, which, if it's a good game, is problematic. But the real question becomes, like, how else do they get their point not out, but to be taken seriously by the people who matter?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know. But I don't play these games. I've played a little bit of Forza Horizon 5, and that game was fun. But I was never gonna. Yeah.
Way back in the day, but it's been a very long time.
I don't play racing games. Like, the racing games that I do ever like really play are Need for Speed Underground 1 and 2, and
those are very good.
The old Ridge Racer 2.
Ridge Racer.
Midnight Club. Actually, I loved Midnight Club. Actually, I'll go ahead and say that.
Actually, if you all want to make like a Ridge Racer 4, like legit just make Ridge Racer 4 again, I'd be super down. I kind of just want to get nostalgic and just play the actual PS1 game.
They I know the last year they re-upped their what is it, their trademark for it.
Truth.
So they might be doing or that could just be a re-upping of trademark to make sure that they get it. A piece of news that we skipped over, Dala, is that you didn't mention it during your FGC thing. There is an update for Guilty Gear Strive coming out. There is going to be crossplay between PlayStation and PC.
Right, I got so caught up with Testament that, like, arguably the more impactful news is the most logical thing for fighting games to have, which is a crossplay between PlayStation and PC, which means that the player base just got much bigger, and the selection of people you have to fight is going to get bigger, and that's great. The pools are huge.
Hooray!
Yeah.
Hooray. And then our last bit of news. All right. I'm very conflicted with this video game. All right.
Oh, go on then.
I'm very conflicted. Hogwarts Legacy looks really fucking good. All right.
It surely does.
It looks amazing. All right. But man, why does it have to be a Harry Potter IP?
And it's not just the books anymore. There's stuff about one of the lead devs and also the story they chose. I'm like, oh.
Wait, I'm confused. You have to.
Oh, yeah. So one of the main devs was part of Gamergate, anti-social warrior, blah, blah, bullshit. And also the story is leading on, basically, you're fighting against the goblins who don't want to be slaves.
So yeah, this is the part that I've heard a bit about, and I'm confused because, to my knowledge, goblins aren't slaves. I feel like that's house elves.
They were
right?
banned from
Oh.
using wands, and they were basically made into the workforce, especially
you
the
gotta
bank
remember.
area.
You gotta remember. This is centuries before Harry Potter.
But
Yeah,
then,
but it still goes on now.
but
I
then
mean,
isn't-
in the main story anyway.
does
They're still banned from using wands, and they're still stuck
Okay.
in a certain area of work. And unfortunately, there is like stereotypes that have been used for the design of the goblins themselves that have been talked about recently too, and so on.
Are these the comparison to the
Yes.
comparisons to? I'm not sure I buy that particular aspect.
There's too many comparisons. There is a thread I could pull up, but I haven't actually done it for this. But go ahead and read about it. It's all out there.
What were they? What were they?
We will
compared to?
talk about that later because that's a can of worms that we probably shouldn't open.
Yeah. Anyways, I'm not conflicted. I'm not gonna play it.
My thing is like, so I've come to grips where I will probably play this video game, but I'm probably gonna buy this game secondhand, just so my money doesn't actually go to certain people, and that it only goes to a shop that I buy this game from.
I don't have any of the issues with any of that. I also have no intention of picking up this game. It looks brilliant, but I don't know. I'm still thinking I may have outgrown Harry Potter in the last couple of years. I am 30. How old am I? 30 something or other. I think I might have just finally hit that point where I'm like, it was nice. That was my childhood, and I don't want anything to change that now.
Yeah, it's unfortunate because a lot of fans have like feel really lost or dismayed or disappointed and so on by the recent developments. But there is a lot of fan created fictions and artworks and stuff.
Oh yeah.
So people still love the world and they still try to, enjoy themselves, but it's just been tarnished a lot.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate. Because I look at this game and I see that this game has everything. Like anything you want in a Harry Potter video game, this game looks like it has it. This game looks like it's for the fans of this series.
Yes,
But,
yes.
Mm-hmm.
It's why, like I said, I didn't know about the developer situation, but
yeah, I heard about the developer yesterday, where it's that person's very questionable, very questionable.
But it is difficult to want to play into that. But I still do want the devs to see a return for the work that they did.
Yeah, I was having this talk with the Blizzard employee actually the other day.
Oh yeah.
Oddly enough, how I got into a conversation with the Blizzard employee because I've come to the terms where I'm probably gonna, like I said, I'm gonna most likely buy this game just because of it looks like a lot of work was put into it. All right.
Yeah.
But I'm most likely gonna buy it secondhand. Even if there is like what is it, like fucking like pre-order like stuff for it. I know of places I can get it secondhand. But this Blizzard employee I was talking to or whatever, it's like most likely the devs that are working on this game right now have already actually been paid for it.
Yeah.
So they're not gonna see any any money come out after this game comes out. It's all going to go to the higher ups.
This is true. At this point, they will not be paid for this game. However, if this game does not do well, they won't be brought back for potentially more work.
Another thing, that it's being developed by a studio that is already very prolific, and they probably won't get shut down at all.
Well, I wasn't worried about the shutdown, but that is good to hear.
Yeah, they'll probably they'll most likely be okay. They've most likely already been paid for this, and I highly doubt this because it's being made by Avalanche Studios. They've made a bunch of other games that have been okay. They've not. This is probably their highest budget game that I've ever seen them make. But I do suggest if you're also on the fence like a lot of people are, find a used version of this game, a secondhand version of this game, a place where if you buy it from, the money goes to the person you're buying it from and not to the actual developer itself. Because there are already thousands and thousands of people that have probably already pre-ordered this game, that have probably already been they've probably already gotten their metrics for this game that they've wanted. So, but yeah, that's pretty much it. Like I said, this game looks. I saw a lot of people doing comparison to it. This, in no joke, this game kind of looks like the Dark Souls of Harry Potter.
Stop! No,
What?
it looks like Elder Scrolls.
Yeah.
It's too narrative driven with too many characters that aren't just sitting there.
I don't mean like that. I just
sighing.
meant like how do I put it? You know what? Yeah, it's probably the Elder Scrolls of Harry Potter.
Like it looks great. It looks like what the Western action RPG started as, and I suspect it'll be great in that regard. It is truthfully a shame by the controversy surrounding it.
Yeah, the I had to rewatch the trailer for it or whatever because I didn't catch it the first time. It does look like there's going to be a morality system in this game as well.
I did not notice that. Fair enough.
There is a section where your character uses Avada Kedavra.
Ooh.
Yeah, they did mention that, but I
spooky.
don't think that's going to be tied to morality.
Literally right before he does it, it says a darker path.
Correct.
That is the abandonment spell.
Yeah, because you're literally killing a person. I don't know that necessarily confirms a morality feature, but it certainly does.
I mean, I think it might be because
open-ended.
it's a create your character video game. So,
Oh, like Fable, is it?
Are we? But
Yeah.
are we still doing that nowadays? Is that still a thing that companies do, or do you just have to understand that your actions?
I mean,
have
Elder Scrolls has like a system like that pretty much.
Does it?
I mean,
Or
there's different ways. There's different things you can do to change how people look at you. In that game, in those
Yes,
games.
being aligned with one of two factions isn't a morality system, though.
I mean,
There are systems.
That's how a morality system is, Dalit. You pick one side of two sides, most likely.
I mean, maybe, but I just
that's literally Mass Effect. Mass Effect had two choices, pretty much.
That's fair, I guess. I just for me, it's just you're going to play the game and your choices have consequences. If you use that spell, suddenly the police will be after you, but you're not suddenly locked into now you're a dickhead and your character talks like this.
No,
your eyes turn red.
No, I think
your
the
soul turns black.
No.
What I'm saying is that to get access to that spell, you probably have to go down the dark path.
I'd be willing to bet if you just go down the dark arts path, the actual class defense against the dark arts, you could probably get to it.
I guess maybe, but I mean,
I don't think it needs to be as complicated as you make it out. See, here's the thing: if
We
you're going
didn't
to tell us,
really. It was all like just Fable. You do stuff where actions make you bad on the bad or good meter. I think that's what simply is he saying.
Yeah,
fair
yeah.
enough.
The same with the KOTOR. KOTOR, you
Yeah.
did
Yeah,
good stuff. You
exactly.
get good side points. You do bad
Okay,
stuff.
well,
You
allow me
get
to
bad
rephrase
side
what I'm
points.
saying. I don't think there's going to be a meter that shows up anywhere and says anything. I think it's
mean,
going to come
maybe
down
not.
to your actions have consequences, and that's it. That's it.
Yeah, it's possible.
Nothing's going
Who
to
knows?
change.
Who knows? Who knows? Anyway, this game looks good. But like I said, if you're on the fence about doing it, if you're leaning towards buying it, probably buy it secondhand. That way you can have a little bit of conscience in you when you're playing the game. I've checked. I don't see any more. I don't see any more news. I think our only spook was the. Oh, actually, I didn't put it in there. I didn't put it in there, and I wanted to talk about it. Zerofield has confirmed the Kuro no Kiseki translation translation spreadsheet will be out April 4th.
So very cool.
People that have Kuro no Kiseki or want to play Kuro no Kiseki and all that jazz or whatever, and you don't want to wait until in 2020 fucking 4 that when it comes out in English, you can get that. They have a nice overlay program that you can overlay over your capture card or the remote play that will cycle through the lines of dialogue as you're playing the game. So they've confirmed that. There's a bit of there's a lot of controversy around this topic because there's a lot of people that feel like fan translations are what's the word? A bit disrespectful to the people that actually do localization. And in that vein, I immediately turn around. I'm like, most of the people that are in localization careers right now started out doing fan translations. So without this, then we probably wouldn't have them in general because we wouldn't have visual novels or light novels or any of this stuff if people didn't try to fan translate them and show that there is a want to do this stuff. So yeah. But yeah, I'm going to restart my playthrough of Kuro no Kiseki because I had actually stopped playing, and I'll just go through it with the overlay and translation. So I need to finish all the video games that I have because April 4th is literally right around the corner. Because it's already how is it already the end of March?
Yeah. Oh, no, hold on. None of that. Let's get to the end of April. I need that just for my own sanity so I can be finished with this degree.
Anyway, I'm looking forward to that. But this week I will be playing more Strangers of Paradise. I'll probably finish the game. There is a butt ton of end game to do in that game. So yeah, there's a lot of post game from what I've seen. All right, the mission levels go all the way up to 300, and I'm just at 100. So, or I'm just like right before 100. So at post game, post game is you unlock the chaos difficulty. You go and beat the game on chaos difficulty, and
you do have to in fact kill chaos.
Yeah. And then you increase the difficulty of your missions by using animal shards that you get from certain missions, and that will increase the amount of rewards you get, and will also give you extra job points to put into your jobs to master your jobs. So yeah, look forward to that. I'll probably play more Vampire Survivors too because sometimes I need a winding down game, and that it's a kind of a winding down game. What are you guys going to do this week?
That.
No, I will.
I have 3 papers and 2 speeches to write. So
Jeez.
Probably, yeah. My fucking speech instructor's a dickhead. Not your problem. If I get lucky, I will continue my lore run through of Elden Ring to get all of the juicy lore for myself, because
Yeah.
obviously Vati's not going to do it yet. He's saving up for something special, I'm sure. Sorry, that came off as like really
Weird.
pejorative. No, like I genuinely believe he's working on something really important, but I need that lore mainlined into my veins.
Yeah.
So I'll probably be doing that. I don't think there's another game I can play right now. I don't want to start anything until, I don't know, at this point I fucking graduate, I guess. So we'll see. I am going to continue doing Elden Ring stuff. That's going to be like my main game for now.
Woohoo.
When I'm free, I'm gonna play more Elden Ring.
And Yuki
Ooh.
Mouse.
Ah!
And you should try out
Oh.
Vampire Survivor since you haven't.
Yeah, I should have a blast of that too when I have the time. But inevitable Yu-Gi-Oh! There's gonna be a, what is it? Oh, today it should start. Tomorrow, America tomorrow. Yeah, probably tomorrow for America. But yeah, there's gonna be a new card festival in Yu-Gi-Oh! It's the rare and normal deck festival, so you can challenge and get more points and stuff, and prizes and extra experience and whatnot if you play a normal or rare deck in the festival. Hooray!
Oh, nice.
Hooray!
Oh.
So yeah, that's what we did.
Well, good. But that's it for this week. If you got this far, please make sure to like and subscribe. We really appreciate it, and I very much need it, actually. But if not, that's okay. We'll just be sad. But anyway, yeah, that's gonna be it for this week. So see you guys next week.
Be good. Make good
Bye-bye.
decisions. Before you go, remember to like, comment, and sub to us. Not only does it help out the channel and let us know what you're into, but it also makes you 100% cooler than everybody else. I checked with Aqua. It's definitely true.